Mtoto anatoka akiwa kala blue yellow. So mamake alikuwa anakula paint.
Imagine.
Ukikula mawe, mtoto atatoka akikaa mawe.
Yes. Yes, kama nyundo.
Kama nyundo.
Yes.
Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Pica. If you're new here, karibu sana, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel because it's a channel where we cook and have fun at the same time. But today we are not cooking, and of course lately hatujakuwa tukipika simply because your friend here refused the kitchen. Like literally alisema yeye na vitunguu hawasikizani, lakini kazi tunaweza wacha kweli? We cannot. So I decided we are going to work with you guys during this pregnancy season, and here we are again. You asked for him. You gave him a name, Mythbuster. Like kuna watu wengi sana walikuwa wanasema ai Rach, tweetie daktari, akitweetie tu atuambie ni myth ama ni fact, akimuite tu, because there was so many things that were happening all over. And since I was with him last time and we talked about a topic pregnancy, wacha leo tuongee about myths and facts about pregnancy. Daktari. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Kwenye Pica na Rach.
Asante sana. Thank you very much.
It's been a minute.
Glad to be here.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Good to be back.
You're good to be back here. Hapa ndipo tunapikanga.
Hapa ndipo.
Lakini leo hakuna kitu ya kukula.
Inaitwa
ni story tu tunakula leo.
Acha tukule story. Watu washibe.
So guys, we are bringing new this episode from La Femme Health Clinic Center. This is where Dr.Thuo is based, right?
That's yes, where we are.
And if you want a doctor, a gyna, who is going to work with you this work of pregnancy or whatever thing that has to do with your female reproductive, tafadhali, Dr.Thuo is here for us and here for you as well. So doctor, ile mambo nimesikia kwa hii maisha
mengi
ukiona watu wakikuita Mythbuster,
watu wameshikilia
mamyth. So I wrote some things down and I want you to take us through. I want you to tell us facts and myths.
Yes.
And explain. My first one, niliambiwa nikule pineapples kwa sababu ita induce labor. Myth or fact?
No known effects ya kukula pineapples on the cervix. It does not induce labor, it does not promote labor, and the hormone or the enzyme that it has that does that can potentially do that has to be taken in very large amounts.
Ndio induce. Ata dates nothing. Zero. Daktari, we have been eating pineapples for nothing.
Na ni mzuri.
Healthy.
Yes, ni nzuri.
Ni nzuri
but not for that reason. Yes. Usikule ukichungulia kama kichwa inatoka.
So, I posted a video, Kemo and my son massaging my feet. And I was told, Rach, utaenda kuzaa leo.
Yes.
Labor ndio hiyo unatafuta.
Today.
Contractions unazitafuta. Myth or fact?
According to Western medicine, which we are students of, it is a myth. Yes. So the pressure point people, acupuncture, then whose science is such that the human body is represented in the palms or the legs, and that stimulating a certain part will bring about labor. That doesn't happen. So from my experience, sababu yes, even within the labor wards, you find women who are sitting ready, who have swollen feet, and there are ladies or gentlemen who will come in and offer massages at a fee to massage the legs ndio ule uvimbe uweze kupunguka. That does not induce labor.
It does not. Otherwise, you know, I was about to tell you, daktari, kama hiyo ina induce labor, si mwache kutupatia madawa basi.
Nakwambia tu.
Mkayapo tu massage miguu.
hiyo ndio tungekuwa tunafanya by the way.
Si ndio? Guys, I actually agree. Kama tunataka kuinduce labor, acha tumassage miguu. Lakini it's a myth. Haya, nikaambiwa mimi ni mfupi.
Yes, kama nyundo.
Yes. Na sio jokes, mimi ni mfupi. Nikaambiwa I cannot do natural birth. I cannot push because I'm short. Myth or fact?
Myth. That is usually based on the false belief that the size of the shoe is proportional to the size of the pelvis. So mtoto haezi tokea pale. Now, what happens is, in some cases, you will find very tall people, very hippie people, very short people, with what we define as a borderline pelvis. Borderline pelvis means mtoto huenda hataweza kutoshea pale, may or may not. But the size of the shoe. Remember, we have pygmies in South Africa, just down here. They do not have hospitals that only do CSS for pygmies because they have to do that. And while the pygmies, they have intermarried. People are having because some people may argue that they are pygmy versus pygmy. So we do not see higher chances of C-section or higher incidences of C-section just because of the fact that there is an element of dwarfism going on there. So it is a myth.
So I can push?
Kusukuma unaweza sukuma.
Kwa hivyo unajua mguu yangu ni size 4.
Yes.
Niliona mpaka hiyo that is something that people kama mguu kako ni kadogo.
Yes.
Mini 4 jitayarishe tu CS. Fact, myth?
Myth. And most people, of course, after having that drummed in them, then we'll expect that mimi hata you resign to the fact that when you are CS. Hata ukifika mahali upate labor imejileta, umefika hospitali, you are 8 centimeters, unasema mimi najua siwezi. And the mind is strong. If you believe you can't, then of course it comes in to confirm that. So what happens is you sit in, we say normal delivery unless otherwise, and the otherwise now can be those other factors that may be proper what do you call justifications that you cannot be able to push.
So I can push.
You are push material.
I'm a push material.
We are made to be push material.
Now, nikaambiwa nikikula pilipili sana mtoto ataenda achomeke. I know you've heard of that.
A lot.
That actually has even come from my own mom. Mbona unakula pilipili?
Yes.
Unakuchoma mtoto? Myth or fact?
A big myth. Yes. So chili is what's you saying? Hot food, cold food huwa inaishia hapa. Kwanza ukimeza chakula chochote, by the time it gets to around here, the food is at the body temperature. Secondly, now chili, what happens with it is that ukitumia hapa utasikia hata ikitoka there's still a bit of chilliness going on. But that chili, remember the digestive system is in close contact with the blood system, and the baby is drawing nutrients from your blood system. Sasa hii digestive system, the nutrients are being absorbed going to the blood system. But the chili does not enter into the blood system as chili. At the end, it's going to seep into the baby as chili, no.
So we're talking of a myth.
It is a myth. We're talking about it.
Please, guys, let me eat my chili in
peace.
Please. So next question, Dr. I should not exercise during pregnancy.
Oh my God.
Myth, fact.
Now, that one is not only a myth, but it is very, very, very misleading, because I always tell my patients about the benefits of exercise being very, very immense. So you have exercise assisting you to be able to have a better sleep, better appetite, less pains, you bounce back better after delivery into your former body, you have more efficient labor. So the benefits of exercise are numerous. And exercise involves kutembea, involves if you're able to do, you swim, involves if you're able to do mild aerobics, you do, if you're able to dance, you dance. But the benefits of exercise in bringing about even the muscle tone inarudi kiwa sawa. Unapata that the feel good hormones are produced which help you and the baby to grow. They reduce stress, as in the benefits are very, very many. Except in a situation where you have a high risk pregnancy that requires you to be on bed rest, in the event that you have a condition that would make pregnancy, the pregnancy or your health become worse by exerting yourself. But if all is well and you're cleared to do so, exercise is excessively beneficial in pregnancy.
From the first trimester?
From as early as the first trimester, if you're able to, yes.
Yeah, kwa sababu nakumbuka kuna mtu ako hapa, nilikuwa naruka tu hivi kidogo.
Yes. Anasema
wacha kujaa. Mbona unaruka? Mbona unaruka? Sasa mbona unaruka? But that was his fear.
I know, that happens a lot.
Nikiruka, nikifanya tuka activity, hataki. Bro, it's a myth. Bra. Lungula.
Yes.
Ati kuna watu huku nje hawawezi lungula, ati juu mtoto ataumia ama kitu tu kayo ita happen.
No, kuna watu wana imagine again wanataka kurudia pale kwa if all is well, if there is no underlying condition that would be detrimental to the pregnancy or to the baby's health, including umeambiwa ukuwe na total bed rest, which means no intercourse, no, we call it pelvic rest, ama umeelezewa do not lift anything heavy, ama you have a condition like bleeding, which of course then you would be made worse, then if all is well, intercourse, again tumeongelea hizo feel good hormones, endorphins. So intercourse helps to release those feel good hormones. Unapata kwamba you feel unaridhika, it gives you a good, what do you call this, like a good feeling that you get from pregnancy. It reduces stress, it improves sleep, it improves appetite, and all these things. It has a lot of immense benefits. Now kuna sana ya wanaume ambao watu wanafikiria that during intercourse sijui naumiza mtoto, sijui nafanya nini, as in anatomy, my friends, anatomy, kwa sababu mtoto ako kwa nyumba yake, wewe uko na nyumba yako and hakuna venye unaweza pita kutoka nyumba yako upite huko. The fence is usually very, very strong.
Very strong.
Hawezi pita ati hii nyumba uingie huko kwingine.
Ebu repeat, kuna mtu anafaa kusikia.
Nimesema tena ya kwamba kila mtu ana boma yake. Kuna boma ya mtoto ambayo imelindwa vizuri, as long as the cervix iko intact, hakuna shida yote. Kuna boma ya mzee na hiyo ni yako, unaketi pale unafanya shughuli zako kwa raha zako. Kisha na mtoto naye anaendelea pale ndani, ukifanya bonge la scan tumeona mtoto anavingira, anacheza kama kawaida. No effect on the baby, but very good effect on the mother. And the mother is happy, baby is happy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Guys, when mom is happy, when mom is happy, baby is happy.
Absolutely.
You should always know that. So don't stress yourself. Not only to dogo. Be happy so that baby can be happy. I've heard of cases after intercourse watu wengi wameenda labor ward. Is there any connection ama ni time yao inakuwaga imefika?
Towards the end, so ndio tunasema kama hakuna any issue, so kuna wale watu tuseme you have a cervix that is short and weak, you have issues like umekaribia labor. In fact, some people say ukiwa umekaribia labor, as in umefikisha masiku zako ama zinaenda kukaribia kupita, that intercourse can stimulate. Na ni kweli kwa sababu kuna kitu ile tunaita kama cervical sweep, which is us trying to stimulate the cervix, but a bit deeper. So in the same way, whenever the cervix is stimulated, and that one can even be during intercourse, then causes the uterus in itself to also have some contractions. You can kickstart labor with intercourse only if the pregnancy is term. The labor had already started by itself, but it can also be done prematurely if, for example, the cervix was weak and the pregnancy, you have stimulated the cervix and that was already weak to now start opening.
So that's not a myth.
So yes, so that's not a myth.
That's not a myth. That's a fact that you can stimulate labor during intercourse, but if only the pregnancy is due.
The pregnancy is term, or you have a issue with the cervix. The cervix had an issue in a pregnancy that was earlier than term.
So I've been having heartburns, and my mom has been saying mwanosio na jure nyingi muno, meaning huyo mtoto ako na nywele mingi sana. Myth or fact? Myth. Okay.
So we have seen a lot of those, the heartburn, and we manage heartburn as a common symptom in pregnancy. I deliver bald babies, I deliver very Goldilocks babies, and all from mothers who had the same intensity of heartburn, but they come with very different, because now hair is more genetic. So mtoto huenda mwingine anazaliwa bila, lakini akishajifungua, then the baby now gets to grow hair thereafter. So there's no correlation between the two.
There's no connection between baby ako kwake,
yes,
na wewe uko kwako. Hakuna mahali nywele inaguzana na chest yako. Hakuna. Wow, that is a myth that many people
usually hold very
hold very tight. Kuna ingine. If you have a smooth face, you can actually tell if a baby is a boy or a girl by the way mom looks. Venye mama na glow. Kama sahi naambiwa, hey Rach, that's a boy, because my face is glowing. And it's true, because even my first pregnancy, I was actually really glowing. Myth or fact?
We know many people who have had, so it's a myth, many people who had a similarly smooth skin and have carried the opposite gender. So it is a myth. So that depends on, and you can find first pregnancy was like this, the second one was different, but the genders were the same.
Guys, it's a myth. Yeah, so it's a myth. You can't just tell by looking at me, because hiyo myth imekuwa pia imeshikiliwa. Kuna mjamaa hapa aliniambia asiwahi niona na kahawa. Coffee. I should never ever see you with coffee.
Yes.
Myth, fact?
Big myth. Now we say that coffee, again, if there is no underlying issue that makes taking coffee detrimental to the pregnancy. Kuna wale ambao they have a heart condition. Those heart conditions, when you take a stimulant like coffee, can then lead to getting worse, sort of, it can get to be worse. But generally, we say in terms of coffee, yes, it is those ones for a stimulant, but we reduce the amount of cups of coffee that we take. So if you're taking like 1 cup or 2 cups, it's acceptable. If there's no effects, if it's not causing you to feel your heart rate is faster than usual, what we refer to as palpitations excessively, then it is normal. But we said to not overdo it, because it is a stimulant. You don't want to take so much that it has an effect on your heart rate. Your heart rate is, you're the one who is the host for the baby. So that has an effect on the baby, because you're supposed to then be good and healthy so that the baby can be good and healthy.
Amazing. So that's
it is a myth.
It's a myth.
A myth again.
Yeah. There's someone who actually specifically told me to ask, is it possible for you to have a vaginal delivery after a cesarean section? Is it possible?
So definitely possible. Again, there is, we always say, and the reason I'm again going back to say that if there is no condition and you fit a certain set of criteria and you maintain that set of criteria throughout the delivery, then it is okay to deliver. It is it is okay to deliver normally after cesarean section. And why I'm saying this is because we don't want a situation where people prescribe for themselves and say, Mimi, it is this one. Mimi nitakunywa kahawa, mimi nitafanya. So it is, if there's no underlying, and this of course is talking about being followed up. You have somebody who's looking after your health. You have somebody who's telling you what the do's and don'ts are. If the vaginal birth after cesarean becomes a don't, based on certain criteria, then it is not for you. If based on that same criteria you find that, oh, by the way, I am actually a candidate because I have stayed more than 3 years before my last delivery. I have my baby facing down. There is no tight cord around the neck. We have the baby being less than 3.5 kilos. We do not have, I am willing to push. I have, all these are criteria that we are looking out for and more to tell us that it is okay to go on. But even as you're going on and you've had a cesarean section before, you are saying that the risk is during labor. Before labor, you rarely have any risk. But during labor, we said labor is a condition in which the cervix is opening, but at the same time, the uterus is contracting to push the baby down. Those contractions are the same ones that can lead to that. There is an area of weakness called the cesarean section scar that can actually give way. And that is the biggest risk. Therefore, even as you are going through that vaginal birth after cesarean, it is prudent to do one of two things. One, we tell you that this is going to go, we are going to try this. In trying means that it can work or it may not. If it gets to work out, well and good. But even as we are going through the procedure, you're doing constant monitoring to not have a situation in which the uterus has actually, the uterus tears, or to refer to as uterine rupture. Or we do not have a situation in which the baby is undergoing distress. Or that we have a situation in which the pelvis itself, which has not been tried and tested, then if there's an issue in which the pelvis, the baby is not able to fit through the pelvis, so there's an issue with that, that then causes us to then say, we will change immediately. So the changing immediately means that every woman who's having a vaginal birth after cesarean, there is need to be that this delivery is done in a facility that has a theater that has been informed. We have a mother who is trying for a scar. We are hoping it's going to be successful, but in the event that we have a change in this situation, that please be ready, we may come anytime. And the theater should be available, and at any time that things change, that you're supposed to then get the theater space very, very fast. Now, the advantage of going through the vaginal birth after cesarean, then it opens up that subsequent deliveries, then you're able to deliver naturally. So the important part about that goes down to what was the reason for the very first cesarean section. If the cause for the first cesarean section is what we refer to as a recurring situation, for example, if the pelvis was constricted, and we say that can happen from pygmies to giants, that if the pelvis was borderline or constricted, it cannot be able to pass a baby. No magic would have changed. If you're getting a term baby, then we still will need to deliver C-section. It won't open up. If the cause for the first cesarean section was something that is what we refer to as a non-recurrent issue, for example, mtoto alipata distress. Huyu kupata distress, kumaanisha wa pili atapata distress. And if the time has passed enough, then now you can say you had a non-recurring issue here. Let us see this time. We have the conditions being right to do this. So conditions tumesema, you have theater ready, you have monitoring during the labor, and you have the both teams communicating very, very frequently about what is going on. If you don't have that, so you're going to deliver in a facility that may not have those, the theater, you don't have the staffing to do that, please don't put yourself at risk. Go get your elective cesarean section, deliver your healthy baby, then get to go home. If you have the advantage and the privilege to be able to do that and have the double setup, as we call it, which is the maternity that has with ongoing monitoring and a theater, then you can be able to be given the chance to go through a vaginal birth. We actually call it a trial of labor after cesarean. Yes.
Trial of labor. So we have factors that you doctors consider before passing this person, like before approving that this is a good candidate of the same.
Exactly.
So it's possible for you to actually give birth.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah. So guys, all you need to do is just walk with a doctor who is going to lead you through that, right?
True.
Yeah, so don't risk your life if you have a doctor. And guys, I've brought you a doctor. I've brought you a doctor who is actually I'm so sure you've done this before.
Many times.
Many times. Successful.
Yes, successful ones.
Yeah.
We've had those ones and success means that the mother and the baby are safe and healthy at the end of the day. So success can mean that you've done a vaginal birth after cesarean or a trial labor after cesarean and it was successful. It can mean that you've done a cesarean section, you tried that, you had an issue, you had to do a cesarean section and they are safe, because you can do this first one and then be too late to do the C-section. So the idea is a lot of that coordination, a lot of monitoring, clinical acumen, communication is key.
Amazing.
Yes.
So guys, Dr. Thuo is here for you. If you want to try pushing after CS, I am so sure he's going to lead you. How many kids have you delivered?
Hey, you're talking over 4,000.
Over 4,000. And I'm so sure 99% of those moms walikuwa wanakula mawe.
Kuna wale wakula mawe, yes.
Nataka uniambie daktari. Ushaipatana na mtoto ako covered na mawe?
Never ever.
Never ever.
Never ever.
Myth fact.
It is a myth. So
it is a myth.
It does not get covered. Ukimeza chakula hapa sio shimo tupu. Yes. So it goes through the intestines, the large intestine out. Yes.
So because zile vitu nimeambiwa ukikula mawe mtoto atatoka akikaa mawe. And I'm thinking kwa sababu kuna watu wanakulanga makaa.
Mtoto atoki akikaa makaa. Kuna watu wanakula rangi, they eat paint. Hawataki wakaa, yes. Termite hills, hawataki wakikaa termites.
Mtoto anatoka akiwa kala blue, yellow. So mamake alikuwa anakula paint.
Imagine. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing. Now, does eating stone mean I'm lacking something in my body?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily means that sometimes it does. So it's the body's way of stimulating what we call the appetite center to tell you, please give me this. But sometimes especially in pregnancy, it is the hormones of pregnancy that give you a change in what to call this in terms of food appeal and the food cravings. So you get craving for non-food items. The other times can be psychological. So it can be, and we know there are people who have mental challenges which prompt them to then eat a lot of those non-food items.
Which is called Pica.
Which is called Pica.
Yo, guys, he taught me that term. He taught me about Pica.
Yes.
You can Google it. Yeah, that is an urge of eating
non-food items. Yes.
And it's quite normal.
It is quite normal in pregnancy.
Yes. Because for me, I started eating stones during my 3rd trimester. And kuna watu walikuwa wafikiria I'm abnormal, but after you told me I'm normal, I'm good.
You're good.
I'm cool. I still eat them.
Awesome.
So, flying while pregnant can cause a miscarriage. Myth or fact?
Myth.
Myth.
So what happens is, after about 34 weeks, in a person who has a pregnancy that is going on well, so one can fly up to around 34 weeks in most airlines. After 34 weeks, just by because the airlines do not want to have you, because you are close to delivery. So they don't want you to have a situation where you're going to deliver or have an emergency in the air. Because they're limited as to what can happen. Of course, you'll have a high chance of having the morbidity, mortality, which is illness or death now going. If a delivery happens or an obstetric emergency happens while you are flying. So from 34 weeks, they tend to not allow you on board.
Not because you can have a miscarriage, but because for them to be safe.
Yes.
They don't want you delivering in their...
Yes, they want you to have an obstetric emergency there. Remember, a miscarriage is any delivery that happens beyond or before 28 weeks. So, but by 28 weeks, you're free to fly. They don't even ask you, even up to 28. From 28 weeks is when they want a letter. So there's not a fear of having a miscarriage, because during the quote-unquote miscarriage, potentially miscarriage times, which is before 28 weeks, then they allow you. But after, but up to 34 weeks, then there's a high likelihood that there could be labor for preterm labor, or what do you call this, even actual labor for someone who is already term, and they don't want those conditions, if they happen while you're up there, there's limitation as to what can happen.
And the first trimester, can you fly?
First trimester, yes. In fact, even no one even knows that you are pregnant the first trimester, so most people fly. You don't even need a letter. But if you have a situation in which you have a pregnancy complication that would stop you from doing that. For example, we say if you're going for a long flight, then you're likely to get blood clots. So wake up, walk around. So a lady who has a high, what we call blood clots, will not even be flying in the first place. So before we give even the fit to fly letter, from 28 weeks onwards, we assess to see that all is well. That you're very unlikely to have an issue while flying, whether a short haul or long haul.
And traveling, maybe you're traveling where some place that have potholes and all that, is it safe?
It is uncomfortable but safe if the pregnancy has no issues. However, if the pregnancy is delicate, or what we refer to as a threatened miscarriage, then there is likelihood of aggravating the situation and leading towards an actual miscarriage from a pregnancy that was just delicate.
So it's okay for me to travel some place in Ikonama potholes,
yes,
and all that.
Yes, but drive safely, of course.
Yeah.
Nimeambiwa niko chonjo.
Lately, nimekuwa nikiambiwa I should stop driving. Should I?
Again, if there is no condition that stops you from driving, you are okay to drive. Some people drive themselves to hospital, even for natural deliveries. But the idea is, if you have no condition, you don't have low blood level that you're likely to faint behind the wheel and cause danger to yourself or others, if you do not have issues like epilepsy that you're likely to do those ones, if you do not have excessive cramps, kuna watu wanafanya muscle pulls, hata unaweza enda kujistretch ukanyage accelerator iende. So if all is well and there's no issues, you can be able to drive yourself. If you're feeling comfortable, you are able to drive yourself even up to the last day, if there are no complications. If you feel not able to because your concentration span is what referred to as baby brain, whereby you find you get even lost. Some people get very lost in terms of your consciousness. You lose consciousness, or you lose yourself in a place. Unashangaa niko wapi, If that happens to you, then it is a cue to stop driving.
You've talked of baby brain. Kuna watu by the way wanafikirianga ni jokes. There are people who wanafikirianga ni jokes. I can tell them it's not jokes.
No. It is actually a known, documented situation that the effect of the pregnancy hormones causes forgetfulness, can cause disorientation, can cause what do you call this, excessive forgetfulness too bad, that you get to forget where you put your keys, to forget an important meeting that you're supposed to go for, to not remember steps leading up to where you are. Uliingia wapi? We've had people here coming around to ask, even within this mall, where did I park my car? I've forgotten where I parked my car. Unapeana funguo, mtu aende tu akifanya chuchu. As in, those things happen, and they are normal in pregnancy. And most of them are subtle, and they're not very, very excessive. But if they occur and they're inhibiting you from doing things, for example, for ladies, we ask them to document. The same way you have this one for the booklet, andika. I am supposed to sit in and pick my son at this time in school because you can forget. I have done this. So those important things, if you find is coming in, the idea is to be above the situation and to document.
Yeah, I think it's important, even the guy behind our camera right now, to actually know that. Yeah, because sometimes kitu ina happen ananiambia kwani ukumbuki. I'm like, I honestly I can't remember.
Yes.
Tunaweza ongea kitu sahi alafu aniambie si nilikuwa nimekuambia. I'm like, uliniambia saa ngapi? I can't even remember. Yeah, so guys, which is my camera? Sure. Baby brain is real. It's very, very important for every person out there to know that. But ladies, don't take advantage. But it's real.
It is real.
It is real. So real. Unasahau all the time. Unasahau. Kuna siku nilisahau ingi nafaa kuhost mtu kwangu.
Yes. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Ananipigia simu na ananiambia niko kwa njia na mle ukienda wapi.
So it happens all the time, and there's need to, not only even for women, so the partners need to hear this, the employers need to hear this, because now there's need to even cut pregnant women some slack, so that when you're sitting and you're pregnant, there is those things that you get to understand that pregnancy comes with certain some slight limitations, not major but slight, so that you accommodate those ones, because we find even in the practice that these bosses who are pushing excessively, they are reprimanding so much about things like those ones. They have like a slight forgetfulness about something, and these things are normal, so we need to be very empathetic.
Yeah, so advise them that they need a helper. You need to help that pregnant woman.
Yes. To
remember things. Ukiona akona hiyo shida, at least unamkumbusha. Like right now I have our small sister who is actually, unajua amenipigia simu mara ngapi kunikumbusha, ujue unafaa kununua maziwa, unafaa kununua nini. She keeps reminding me all the time, because I mean, sini life. Sasa kuna myth ingine hapa, sijui kama utaweza kutackle, lakini ilinicheketa. Kuna mtu aliniambia nisifue nguo za mtoto, kwa sababu if I wash clothes for my unborn baby, it affects the umbilical cord. I don't know itafanya nini, but niliambiwa don't wash clothes. Usifue. Badilisha mtoto, ufua akikuja.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of that. In fact, in hospitals, you see people coming in with the baby clothes with the tags on, na kila kitu, because of that belief. And you ask them, you're not scared about, even right now, COVID, nguo zimetoka kwa sunus and all those places, and they've come in straight. As jafuliwa etc, and someone says if you do that, it's going to affect the baby. It's like similar to those ones that we say don't count your chicken before they hatch. These are watu wanasema that you're likely to jinx. It's actually what we refer to as a jinx situation. So mtu anasema akifanya hivi huenda ikaleta madhara hivi. Now we said that we are cultural in as far as we are professional and we are social, so that culture in us informs a lot about what we get to do. So there's definitely, that is a definite myth, that there's an effect between the umbilical cord and the baby's clothes, but depending on how strongly you hold that true, we said the other time that you're likely to get what is called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias means umevufua, then something has happened to the baby and you directly link the occurrence of, if the baby has gotten jaundice, useme ndio maana nilifua hizi nguo. So it's not true, and of course as we get to bust these myths, then we're able to then get free of those chains, if you call them, those cultural ones, pole too, as we get now to embrace what is healthy. So for example, you have the baby, the clothes have been cleaned, dried in the sun, pressed, so that now they are they are hygienic, they are whatever has been collected from them, from where they were manufactured to where they were stored, then you've been able to actually clean all of that, and that's why we sit and clean the clothes. Then you know the baby, it's the baby's benefit that you're giving them hygienic clothes. So it's a work in progress. Let me put it that way.
It's a work in progress. So guys, first of all, Dr. Google. Do you discourage Dr. Google?
Actually, what happens is I encourage my patients to come with questions. Every time that they're coming in, to just come in, what are your pressing questions? And to write them down the same way you have done. And most of them come from Dr. Google, and they'll come in, and I prefer to have someone saying, this is what I have thought, this is what I have had, I am worried about this, Google says this, and we're able to sit down and now set the facts straight. So I don't necessarily discredit, but I appreciate that somebody, after Googling, has not taken that, of course we say Google gives you extremes, has not taken the advice fully, has come in to then get to understand, is this true, is this not? So because social media, Google is with us, so we'll have to then use it. You'll get a pressing question that you'll check out, but it is prudent to then come in and get a clarification about the same from the relevant professional regarding what you're looking out for, what you are worried about.
I'm going to repeat this, and I usually tell my fans, Doctor.
Yes.
I usually tell my fans, just don't take anything that you are fed. Just like doctor has said, if you have any pressing question, just uliza to daktari. Kuna watu walikuwa wanani discourage you shouldn't massage your feet, and I decided, no, I'm going to ask my doctor, is it true? Others were advising me I should take this, I should not take this, and that's why you have a doctor with you. If you just, guys, I'm telling you again for free, I've given you Dr. Thuo here at La Femme Healthcare Center. He is going to take you through what you think, or he's just going to take you through your pregnancy journey, what you think you need to know. He is going to take you through as well. He's going to give you facts, he's going to give you myths, he's just going to walk with you. I mean, it's that simple. Don't just listen. Unajua watu wanasikizanga tu, alafu mtu anasikiza kikitu alafu inastick kwa kichwa yake. Yeah, so guys, that's why I'm very reluctant to take advice huko nje, because I have an amazing doctor here, Dr. Thuo, who is walking this walk with me, and he is helping me during this pregnancy season. And I would advise you guys, contact La Femme Healthcare Center for all your needs. So guys, we are going to leave the details down here, from the email to the contacts. If you're shy, just drop an email. If you want to call, just call. And I am so sure, and I can promise you that La Femme Healthcare Center is going to walk this walk with you. If you are expectant out there, this is the place to come. If you are trying to conceive out there and you feel imekuwa a hard journey, I promise you La Femme is going to walk with you. Just come, call, email, and this is where you are going to be assisted. So if this video was helpful, leave a comment down below and give it a thumbs up. Alafu daktari, tuwapatie contacts wape tuwasaidia. Ndio. So myself, we have a big team, we have a group of doctors, from gynecologists who are good, very good. We have pediatricians, we have physiotherapists. There's a whole team that is actually here to just be ready to help you. Yeah, and of course Dr. Thuo has other doctors. So ukikuja udirectiwa kwa mwingine, it doesn't mean that doctor is not good. True. The team here is amazing. So guys, karibuni sana hapa La Femme, and you are going to get help. So guys, until next time, daktari, tuambie aje? Thank you. Stay healthy and keep your facts right. Yes. By coming and seeing your doctor, getting the accurate advice, so that you are not
falling prey to the cultural myths and the naysayers out there.
Yes. So guys, kwaherini, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel.